Hi, I'm your host Nancy O'Neill and welcome to Suncoast FYI. This week we have the pleasure to host Hallie Pilot Young, founder and CEO of No Blues News, Olivia Turpening from the Sarasota Visitors Bureau to talk about Savor Sarasota, and Florida author Renee Linnell, who will share memoirs from her books. Our first guest is no stranger to SNN or the Suncoast community. Hallie Pilot Young is yet again bringing us something we all need in our lives: uplifting stories that unite us and create positive change. It's called No Blues News.
Oh.
Well, nice to see you.
Oh, that intro is going to make me cry. Oh, I'm so happy to be doing this again in this capacity.
Wonderful. Yes. So please tell us about your new nonprofit. Why did you decide to start it? I think we all know the answer to that, but let's tell our viewers.
Yes. So it's called No Blues News. It's going to be good news only. I think you remember, when I was here, that was all I ever liked to cover. And
yes,
people, good.
Yes.
Hallie's always doing the light stories, the fluffy stories, but they're the meaningful ones and the ones that give people hope. It's great to leave a viewer with that hope, and no matter how sad a story is at first, you want to leave them feeling hopeful. And I think between COVID and the elections and the riots and the protests and all the shootings, we need more good mixed into that, and not just pushed to the end of the newscast. It needs to be prioritized a little bit more.
Now, is your site up and running at this point?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's nobluesnews.org. We're going to have our first newscast in June. They'll be weekly on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and my website. And then you can access any newscast at any time.
Okay. And so that's how people will be able to tune in.
Yes.
To the program.
Yes.
And, I know, you've done so many things and you like these stories. How do you think this is going to fit into like an individual's daily kind of, life?
Yes. So my inspiration for it kind of came from The Haven, where I was most recently doing this newscast anchored by people with disabilities. And it was getting such positive feedback. Like, I love watching this, and it's such positive news.
Sure.
And so I kind of think if I could work it in that way, say I release it every Monday and people can start their week with it, and it just lives on the internet in perpetuity. So unlike cable, if you were to miss it and then it was gone, this will be there.
Exactly.
So you can have it with your morning cup of coffee, you can have it after work with a glass of wine, whatever everybody wants to make of it.
Well, and I think, I think what I'm going to do is balance it. Like you said, there's so much that we need to know.
Absolutely.
That's on the news at whatever time we watch the news.
Absolutely.
That this might be a wonderful way to kind of counterbalance all of that.
Exactly.
And hear what good things are going on in the community. Where are you finding your stories, Hallie, if I may ask?
So just very recently, since I announced I was doing this, I feel like so many nonprofits have been so excited about it because they pitch their positive news all the time. And it's not that local news doesn't want to cover it. It's just that sometimes there are more pressing things like a school board meeting or breaking news, and it kind of gets pushed to the back burner. So I've already heard from a few nonprofits who are like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Can I send you story pitches? Because they know it'll get covered now.
Yes.
And I think you make a really good point about kind of balancing it, and that's something that I want people to realize too. I'm in no way ever trying to replace good old-fashioned news. It's so important, and what journalists do to keep people informed is such a noble thing. Just like you said, I think to kind of supplement it and complement it, you'll always be able to find that need to know hard news stuff. So just kind of giving people another outlet too to uplift them.
Now you have an event coming up on May 11th.
Yes.
What's that all about, dear?
So it's going to be at 6 p.m. at Parkinson Place. It's going to be just kind of our launch party, kickoff fundraiser. We're going to have food and drinks and music, a special performance from another theater nonprofit, Tree Fort Productions, which will be great.
Yes.
So just a good night to kind of communicate our mission, explain to everybody, both just community members and nonprofits, what we're doing and how we can help get their stories told.
All right. Now, is it open to the public?
Yes, anybody's welcome to join if you want to learn more about it, how it's going to work, how you can get involved. You can register on our website, nobluesnews.org. There's actually a banner right at the top that says register for our event.
Okay.
So just trying to make it easy for everyone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We have a little more time. Anything else that you feel pertinent that you'd like our folks to know?
Yeah, so the event's going to be at Parkinson Place,
Yeah.
which is kind of a really cool full circle thing because I did a series in 2019 here called Defying Parkinson's, which meant a lot to me, and interviewed 6 of their members and their caregivers or spouses about what Parkinson Place does. And so something that I really want to do is have different events for No Blues News at different nonprofits in town as the host sites to kind of raise awareness for those nonprofits.
That's a wonderful idea, dear.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm just excited.
You're going to be very busy. Not
Very
that you're
busy.
not busy already, but you're going to be
Yes.
really busy.
Good busy though.
Good
Yeah.
busy. I mean, what a wonderful way to spend your day telling happy, meaningful stories and
Totally.
giving those people a voice too. So.
Yeah, I don't really know how to articulate it other than I just feel with all of me that it's my purpose, and I know you and I have talked about that, and just really excited I'm grateful to get to live such a intentional, purpose-filled life and feel
it
very
shows.
blessed.
You look wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
I look forward to it.
Thanks for having me.
Up next, Olivia Turpening is here to share one of my, for sure, favorite foodie times of year, Savor Sarasota, so don't go anywhere. Olivia has the pleasure of exploring all of the culinary delights that Sarasota County has to offer. We're going to talk about Savor Sarasota. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you
This
for
is
having me.
great. This is one of our favorite times of year. So tell our viewers all about Savor Sarasota, please.
So Savor Sarasota Restaurant Week is an opportunity to experience all the culinary delights that Sarasota County has to offer, and maybe try some things that locals and visitors haven't tried before.
Right, because there's so many wonderful restaurants involved. Now, what's the history behind Savor Sarasota?
Yeah, so back in 2006, we had several restaurants come to us at Visit Sarasota and say, you know, we need something to kind of keep our businesses up once our seasonal visitors have gone back up north, and just to kind of promote something after Memorial Day. So we decided to start Savor Sarasota Restaurant Week, and this year will be our 18th year.
That's
So we're very excited.
And when does it actually take place, Olivia?
Yes, this year it will be June 1st through June 14th.
Okay. And what types of restaurants will be participating?
There's all types of restaurants. In order to be part of Savor Sarasota Restaurant Week, you need to be a partner of Visit Sarasota County, and we have lots of local restaurants that are partners with us, and we have dozens that are participating at this time, so we will see all kinds. There will be something for everybody.
Okay. And what's the range from down in Venice to up to?
All over the county,
over the county.
South County, if you want to call it that, in Venice, all the way up to the tippy top of Sarasota County.
And this is a good time for our local folks, like you said, to get out and expand and explore different areas and different restaurants
Exactly.
that they may not try during season. So
That's exactly
great.
correct.
Is there a price point, and is it just lunches or dinners, or could it be both?
So yes, I would say most restaurants do both, but it depends. You know, if they're only open for dinner, they'll only be doing dinners.
That makes sense.
But yes,
Yep.
it's 2 courses for lunch, which will be $25, and then 3 courses for dinner, which is $40 per person. And some restaurants are even offering upgrades and wine pairings for an extra couple of dollars here and there. So
Wonderful.
lots of different options for everybody.
Okay. And does it depend on the restaurant whether they switch their menus up? So if somebody enjoys going to this restaurant, if they go back next week, will it be the same menu, or might they change it up?
It will be the same throughout Savor Sarasota, but then beyond that, we kind of continue on with sort of a fun in the 941 deal where they could switch it up, and you know, you can always go back when it's not Savor Sarasota and you know, see what they have to offer.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't gone over? We have some time. Anything else you'd like to, you know, favorite foods that you like? Or
Man, I'm personally really excited to try like the lobster mac and cheese. There's so many cool restaurants and different things to try that I haven't tried. It's the most delicious time of the year.
Now, can our visitors go to your website to find a list of restaurants, or at least find out how they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, visit sarasota.com. You'll find all the information on Savor Sarasota Restaurant Week coming up. If you want to become a partner and participate, if you are a restaurant, and then also savorsarasota.com will show all the restaurants and menus and the price points. So
That's great. Okay. Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
It'll be a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to it.
yes.
Thank you, Olivia.
Yeah, thank you.
Up next, author Renee Linnell will share with us several memoirs from her books, Still on Fire and The Burn Zone. So please stay with us. Renee Linnell made her publishing debut in 2018 with The Burn Zone, a memoir of surviving a cult experience, and now has published her second book, Still on Fire, a memoir. Welcome back. That 4 years has just flown by, and you've written a second book in the course of that time. So let's start off with backing up a little bit about surviving a cult.
Okay.
How do cults cut you off from the outside world?
It's like any toxic relationship where if you go on a first date and somebody says something abusive, you would get up and leave, but they love bomb you in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what this group did. I felt seen, I felt heard, I felt like I found my tribe. I was excited about learning new things and growing as a person. A lot of my family died when I was young, and so I was excited to kind of have a family and have parental figures. And slowly but surely, they sucked me in with love bombing me and making me feel excited about life. And then they gave me so many tasks to do. But they were great tasks, like get a black belt in karate, get an MBA from one of the hardest business schools in the country, become a computer programmer.
Sure.
But then I was spending more and more time with the group and doing things for the group, and then the group thing starts to kick in where everyone I spent time with was thinking and believing the same thing.
And it wasn't
Yeah.
about, it was about the group, it was about
The group,
the
right.
cult, and it wasn't about you so much anymore as a person.
Right, and there wasn't as so much time for me to do the activities that empower me, like surfing and dancing and traveling.
Which you were a surf model.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
and you climbed to 22,000 feet at Mount Everest. I read all these things about you. You're a very fascinating person in
Thank
addition
you.
to writing your experiences down and sharing them with us. So having gone through that, why do you think that, again, the way we're brought up, why are we attracted to people who treat us so badly? I mean, why do you think that kind of kicks in?
I think because we're perfect little beings when we're born.
Sure.
And we know that we're worthy and we deserve to be loved. But unfortunately, we get told by the adults around us in school, all of that we're not okay the way we are, that we have to change to please our parents, to be a good little girl, a good little boy.
Right.
We have to please the teachers. We want to fit in with the other kids. We don't want to be weird. We don't want to be different. And we start to hide everything about us that makes us different and quirky and unique. And then we forget who we are. And then we feel like we're not lovable. If people find out who we are, we won't be loved. We'll be abandoned. And we then start attracting in people who don't love us for who we are. There's so much self-hatred underneath for a lot of us. We don't even realize it. And so then we're willing to tolerate people treating us badly because inside our own minds we're not treating us very nicely.
Right. And we're not worthy of, right?
Right.
But,
We're
you know,
and we're
self-worth.
bombarded by messaging constantly that says we're not okay. We have to be young,
We have to
for
keep-
women, we have to
right.
be younger, we have to be thinner, we have to be
Yes.
prettier. For men,
Exactly.
we have to make more money, and not just a little more money, like a yacht and a plane,
Yes.
to be
Yes.
successful as a man.
And we know things like that don't make us happy.
No.
That's not what it's about.
They
So
don't.
you've been very candid about the hard lessons you've learned, and what have you taken away from that, and how do you break those bad habits?
I think a lot of us need to be broken by life before we stop. And I had to be shattered, completely shattered. And then from the rubble, I decided to build back only the authentic pieces. In fact, I got to the point of suicidal depression because I'd lost my sanity, I'd burned everything I owned, I'd alienated all my friends and family.
Did you literally burn everything?
I literally
you owned?
burned
Oh.
big bonfires
Wow.
to practice detachment under the rules of these spiritual teachers. I had no idea who I was. I erased everything wild about myself in my effort to become a saint and to become enlightened. And so when I was at the depths of despair, I thought, okay, I can leave anytime I want. And that's the thing, we're here by choice. We can leave whenever we want. But if I left, what would I miss?
Yes.
And I realized I would miss coffee in my favorite mug. I would miss watching the sunrise. I would miss going to bed in clean sheets. And so I thought, if I'm going to leave, why don't I have a day tomorrow of doing all the little things I love? And I had a day of joy, the first day of joy I'd had in years.
And it's so true. You have to be thinking about what we're grateful for
Right,
before we make a drastic decision, like you were saying.
right.
It's think about, and I always say, I see somebody, and I'm feeling bad for myself, and I see somebody sitting on the side of the road, and I'm like, by the grace of God, that's not me.
Right,
And then I start realizing how much I have, although it
Yeah.
may not be what you like you said, the
Right.
yacht or the car or something.
Right.
But you have to be at peace with yourself. So it's finding that, and I think your books are a wonderful way of doing that. One of the quotes that stood out was about being pink. What
Oh,
was
embrace
that?
your skeletons in the
Yes,
closet.
yes.
Pull them out and paint them pink.
Yes.
Your skeletons are probably the most interesting part about you. Your
Exactly.
difference is your destiny.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What would you say is the best way that you've found to get what you deserve, to get the love you deserve?
We have to learn to love ourselves. And it's not easy. It's all these tiny decisions throughout the day. For example, leaving 15 minutes earlier so we're not rushed and frantic in traffic so that we can enjoy the drive. Saying no to social invitations when we know that our soul is calling us to be home and be alone and read or take a bath. Choosing the foods that will actually nourish our bodies. And so it's these tiny self-love nurturing habits, and then giving to ourselves everything that we wish someone else would give us. So for women, buying ourselves the flowers, looking in the mirror and saying that we're beautiful, taking ourselves on dates. For men, realizing that their self-worth is not dependent on how much money they make.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that you say that. Someone that's very close to me was out and met someone in a local establishment, and one of the first three things that they said to this person was, "I'm XY and I have a good bank account." And they said, "Well, that's not who I am," and they turned and left. So it's like you said, it's making choices when you run into situations like this. So rather than getting back to, rather than dwelling on the victimhood that we all
Yeah.
have encountered, how do you encourage people to triumph after tragedy? I mean, how do you begin, Renee?
I realized there's a chapter in the first book, The Burn Zone, when I went from victim to warrior. And I decided I was done being a victim, and that everything that happened to me happened for me, and that my soul signed up to experience exactly what I experienced in order to help others. We cannot show others the way out of hardship if we haven't walked that path ourselves. So whatever trauma we've gone through, you know, there's such a tendency to think, oh, this happened to me, nobody understands me, I'm broken for life. We're not broken for life. We've endured something incredible so that we can heal it and then go help others.
Final words of wisdom before we close. I mean, you've given us so many. Anything else you'd like to add?
That we have to believe in our own magic, that each one of us is unique for a reason, and that we have divine skills that we are meant to, and gifts to offer the world. And we're broken, perfectly broken, to do that.
Now,
Yeah.
where can our viewers find your books, dear?
Right now they're at Elysian Fields on Tamiami
I
Trail
love
and at Cooper Creek, and I'll be doing a book signing. When this airs, I'll have done 2 book signings, but the books will still be there.
Okay.
And then my website, reneelanell.com.
Which is amazing. Amazing.
Thank
It has so
you.
much information. Do you have any other book signings coming up locally, or
Not
will
locally,
this be it for
no.
this season?
This is it.
Okay. Well, next time we see you, we'll get
Yes.
you on so that we can all go and watch you at a book signing.
And
So
meet me, I would love that.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
Nancy.
I think you're just an incredible person.
Thank you, Nancy.
We hope you enjoyed the show today, and thank you for joining us on Suncoast FYI. If you would like to promote your nonprofit or community event, we would love to hear from you, and this is a complimentary service. Please call or email us using the information on the screen. To view previous episodes, go to snntv.com and click on the What's On tab. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next week on Suncoast FYI.